You think cruises are all about buffets and Broadway shows and family photos, but after a certain hour, the ship quietly switches personalities. The lights get softer, the jokes get sharper, and whole areas turn into adults-only playgrounds nobody mentions in the brochures. In this video, we're walking through 11 naughty but totally real cruise secrets, from late-night hot tubs and balcony showtime to flirting codes and the discreet clothing optional cruises most people don't even know exist. So you're never surprised on board. And before we dive in, quick ground rules. When I say naughty, I don't mean anything graphic or unsafe. I'm talking about grown-up energy, flirting, and the unspoken rules regular cruisers know, but first-timers don't. Now, we're keeping this YouTube safe, respectful, and real. No shaming, no judging, just understanding how the ship actually feels after dark. And this helps everyone. If you're traveling as a couple, you'll know exactly where the after-hours vibes are. If you're bringing kids or grandkids, you'll know which spots to avoid after a certain time, so your cruise stays PG where you want it to. So with that said, let's start with the first big shift that happens once the clock hits 1 a.m. in the hot tubs. Secret 1. The 1 a.m. hot tub rule. During the day, the hot tubs are all about families and kids with water wings and people trying to relax before dinner. But after midnight, different story. Once the clock hits around 1 a.m., crew have a running joke. Hot tubs after 1 a.m. are not for families. By then, most kids are in bed, the pool deck is quieter, and the people still in the water are usually flirting with groups they just met at trivia, coupling up after a long night in the piano bar, or sipping iced tea that somehow smells exactly like rum or vodka. The vibe gets looser, the jokes get a little more risky, and people are way less shy about sitting close. It's not a costume party or anything wild, but it's very clearly an adults-only social zone. Now, if you're cruising as a couple and you want a more romantic, grown-up hot tub moment, this is prime time. But if you're traveling with kids or teens and want to keep things PG, this is your signal to enjoy the pool deck earlier in the evening and then steer them towards movies or game rooms or sleep once it gets late. Either way, knowing the 1 a.m. hot tub rule means you're choosing the vibe on purpose, not stumbling into it by surprise. Secret 2. Balcony showtime hours. Balconies are calm and innocent during the day. People drink coffee, read, maybe wave at the ship next to them. But there are two very specific times when those same balconies turn a lot more private. First is right after sail away. The ship pulls away from the port, drinks are flowing, music is playing, and everyone's riding that "we finally made it" high. Couples head back to their cabins, slide the balcony door open, and suddenly that little strip of outdoor space feels like their own private world above the ocean. The second showtime hour is after midnight. The decks are quieter, families are sleeping, and you'll notice more curtains half closed, lights dimmed, and balcony doors cracked just enough for fresh air and ocean noise. That sound of the waves? Perfect cover for late night talks, cuddling, and very married energy. If you're a couple, this is your quiet zone. Just remember, other cabins can sometimes see you from above or below, and no one wants a surprise appearance in someone else's vacation photos. Now, if you're more on the shy side, just close your curtains at night and avoid staring out at other balconies like you're watching a show. Once you know about the balcony showtime, you'll never look at those little rectangles of light in the night sky the same way again. Secret 3. Pineapples, bracelets, and flirting codes. If you've ever seen people joking about pineapples on cruises, yeah, that didn't come out of nowhere. There's this whole mini language some adults think they're speaking in. Upside-down pineapples on door magnets, pineapple shirts, or even pineapple bags that might mean they're open to more than small talk. Then you get bracelet colors. Some groups wear different colored bands, anklets, or fabric ties to signal who's single, who's taken, and who's open to company. Half the time, they're just an inside joke between friends. The other half, they're hoping someone else gets the reference. Now, you'll also see cheeky door magnets, kids at grandma's, adults at play, "We're not here, don't knock." Again, none of this is official. The cruise line does not recognize magnet law. It's all guest-made code. Even drink orders get folded in. When people say things like, "If you see me with this cocktail, it means come say hi." Or they'll pick one silly drink as their signal with friends they met in a Facebook group before sailing. Now here's the important part. Symbols, bracelets, and pineapples are just decorations unless everyone involved is clearly on the same page. They are not automatic consent. They don't override basic respect, and they definitely don't give anyone a free pass to be weird. So treat it as what it really is. Fun cruise folklore, entertaining to spot, and only meaningful if everyone is openly into it. Secret 4. The clothing optional cruise secret. Most people think cruises are all family pools, water slides, and Hawaiian shirts. What they don't realize is that, quietly running in the background, there's a whole subculture of clothing optional and adults only theme cruises that take over entire ships. These aren't random sailings where a few guests decide to bend the rules. They're full ship charters. A private group works with a mainstream cruise line, books every cabin, and then runs the week their way, with very clear adults only rules and privacy policies. From the outside, the ship looks completely normal. From the inside, the vibe is very not normal. On these cruises, you'll hear about stricter photography rules, areas where cameras are banned, and ship photographers who are told to steer clear of certain spaces. Activity schedules get rewritten, entertainment is tweaked, and the whole thing is designed so guests feel like they're in their own private world at sea. The funny part is how invisible this is to regular passengers. You'll almost never accidentally end up on one. They're usually booked through special websites, travel agents, or groups. But if you're scrolling dates and notice a random week with sky-high prices, tons of cabins blocked, and very vague marketing language, there's a chance that ship has been quietly claimed. I'm not saying you're going to stumble into a clothing-optional cruise without warning. I'm just saying that if the price suddenly jumps, the fine print gets shy, and everything feels weirdly secretive, you may have just found the most free sailing on the calendar. If this is already opening your eyes to how different a cruise feels after dark, hit like and subscribe so you don't miss the next videos. It tells the algorithm you actually want more of the real, unfiltered side of cruising. Now, because we're just getting started, the late-night flirting doesn't stop at balconies and pineapples. It moves to the dance floor. Secret 5. The silent disco pickup trick. Now, if you've never been to a silent disco on a ship, it looks ridiculous at first. A full nightclub of people dancing in silence, everyone wearing glowing headphones, mouthing lyrics you can't hear. But once you understand what those colors mean, you'll realize it's also one of the easiest places for people to flirt. Each color usually links to a different channel. One might be current pop, another old school throwbacks, another rock or dance. Over time, a pattern shows up. The high-energy, younger, more flirty crowd tends to cluster on one color, and the chill, sing-along crew leans toward another, and the I'm here to vibe and not pull a muscle group parks on the third. The secret is that you can see who's tuned in to the same world as you. If someone keeps glancing your way and then switches to your channel, that's a pretty clear, "Hey, I noticed you," without anyone saying a word. Groups will drag each other over to match whatever color the people they find interesting are wearing. Couples use it too. They swap to the same channel at the same time, just to disappear into their own little bubble in the middle of the crowd. If you want to meet people, this is one of the lowest pressure places to do it. Lock into a channel you enjoy, dance, make eye contact, and let the headphones do half the talking. If you want zero flirting, it works the same way in reverse. Pick the calmest channel, stay with your own group, and enjoy the show happening all around you. Secret 6. How people sneak into suites for afterparties. One of the fastest ways cruise friendships jump from "nice to meet you" to "we're basically a crew now" is the suite invite. It usually starts harmless. You meet people at trivia, a bar crawl, or the club. You keep bumping into each other, and by night 2 or 3, someone drops the line, "Hey, we've actually got a suite. Would you like to come see the balcony?" From there, it's almost too easy. Nobody's checking ID at the cabin door as long as one person with a key card is leading the way. The group walks together down the hallway. The suite holder taps their card. The door clicks open, and everyone just flows in like it's the most normal thing in the world. Suddenly, people who were in budget inside cabins an hour ago are standing on a 2-story space with a massive balcony, snacks everywhere, and someone pouring one last drink. This is where cruise reality hits. Adult friendships on board move very fast. You're all in the same bubble. You see each other all day. You talk about life over sunsets and cocktails, and it starts to feel like you've known these people for months instead of days. That's exactly why afterparties and suites are so common, and why you have to be twice as smart about your own boundaries. If you ever go, tell someone you trust which cabin you're in. Keep your room number private unless you really know the person. Have a quiet rule with yourself about when you're leaving, how much you'll drink, and what you're not willing to do, no matter how charming the view or the company is. The suite afterparty can be one of the most memorable nights of your cruise, or the one you wish you'd skipped. The difference is whether you decide the rules before the elevator doors open. Secret 7. The casino after midnight. Walk through the casino at 8 in the evening, and it feels just like another part of the ship. People in dinner outfits, a few folks at the slots, couples trying blackjack for the first time. Walk through again after midnight, and the energy is completely different. The kids are gone, most families have disappeared, and the people still inside are the ones who don't want the night to end yet. By this time, a lot of guests already have a few drinks in them. Strangers start cheering for each other's wins, leaning over to high-five at the roulette table, or sliding into the empty seats next to someone who looks fun. Buying a round for the table, clapping when someone hits a good hand, or making little jokes when the dealer flips a brutal card. This is exactly how flirting starts without anyone calling it flirting. It's also one of the safer adult zones because it's public, well lit, and watched by cameras and staff. You can have a bold conversation, laugh too loud, enjoy the buzz of people around you, and still step away at any second. If the vibe isn't for you, you just cash out and walk back into the quiet hallway. The real trick is to set a money limit before you ever sit down. Let the casino be a place for stories, inside jokes, and maybe a harmless crush on the person rolling the dice, without letting your wallet get caught up in the heat of the moment. Secret 8. The naughty elevator game. Elevators on a cruise ship look boring. They're just metal boxes that move you from the buffet to your cabin. But ask around, and you'll hear the same thing. The elevators are where a surprising amount of naughty stories start. And here's why. After a few seconds, it's just you and whoever stepped inside with you. The doors close, the noise of the hallway disappears, and you're in a tiny private space with no camera staring you in the face. Most ships have cameras outside the elevator, not inside. That little pocket of privacy makes people feel way bolder than they did 5 seconds earlier. Couples use it for quick kisses, inside jokes, and I dare you moments between decks. Friends mess around by hitting all the buttons, whispering secrets, or trying to turn a normal ride into the fastest thrill of the night. It's not a movie scene, but it is enough to make your heart race if you're already in that flirty, late-night headspace. The key is not to let your fun become someone else's awkward story. If the elevator stops and the doors open, the game is over. You step back, fix your face, and let people in like nothing happened. You don't block doors, and you don't mess with alarms, and you definitely don't trap strangers in your joke. Done right, the elevator game is just a tiny, silly rush between floors. But done wrong, it's the fastest way to look like the problem on board. Secret 9. Spa Steam Room Accidental Encounters. If the casino is loud and bright, the spa steam room is the exact opposite. It's quiet, warm, and a little mysterious. You step inside and everything goes soft. The lights are low, the benches are smooth, and the steam is thick enough that you can barely see who's sitting on the other side. Early in the day, it's mostly people actually using it for what it was built for, relaxation and recovery. You'll see gym people, spa lovers, and guests who just want to loosen up their shoulders after walking all day in port. But later in the evening, especially on sea days, the crowd changes without any announcement. Couples wander in together and sit close, sharing whispered conversations in the fog. Some singles slip in alone, secretly hoping that the only other person in the room might start a friendly chat. Nothing is guaranteed here. Sometimes it's just you and the sound of your own breathing. Other times, you can feel that unspoken, "we're both here on purpose" energy, even if nobody says a word. And that's exactly what makes it feel a bit naughty to some people. The mix of calm spa vibes and the sense that anything could happen, even if it usually doesn't. What matters is remembering that it's still a spa, not a dating app. Some people want total silence. Some just want to sweat out last night's cocktails. If the mood feels off, you stand up, open the door, and walk out. The steam room should leave you lighter, not uncomfortable. Secret 10. Late night cabin signals. Cabin hallways look dead quiet at night. Doors shut, lights low, just the hum of the ship. But frequent cruisers will tell you, those doors are not as boring as they look. A lot of couples have their own private code built into little details most people never notice. Some flip their door magnets upside down when they're inside and don't want knocks. Others use a specific magnet or phrase only when they're not to be disturbed under any circumstances. A certain nightlight left on, or curtains half open, or a towel placed in a particular spot on the bed can all mean something very clear to the person who's in on the signal. This becomes especially useful when people are cruising with friends, teenagers, or extended family. Now, nobody wants to announce, "We need alone time, please stay away." So instead, they agree on a simple system before the cruise even starts. If the magnet is flipped, they don't answer. Or if the door is cracked a tiny bit, that might mean you can come in now. From the outside, it's just a row of identical doors. Inside each cabin, there's a whole different story going on. The key is to treat every closed door like it means leave it alone, unless you've been specifically invited. And if you're traveling with your own partner, creating a tiny signal system can save you from a lot of awkward hallway moments and very badly timed knocks. Secret 11. The Dirty Banana and other naughty name drinks. By the time it's late at night, the bar menu starts reading like a list of inside jokes. This is where cruise bartenders really see the naughty side of passengers, and it usually starts with what people order out loud in front of the crowd. You'll hear someone stroll up and, without blinking, ask for a dirty banana. Another person leans over the bar and orders a sex on the beach. Someone else quietly asks for a screaming orgasm, and then tries not to make eye contact with the person standing beside them. Miami Vice, Kiss on the Lips, all those cheeky names turn into automatic conversation starters. People use these drinks as icebreakers. Friends dare each other to order the wildest name on the menu. Couples get matching cocktails and toast like they're in their own little comedy sketch. Groups at the bar start laughing when they hear someone shout their order with full confidence, and suddenly, strangers are talking like they've known each other all week. The bartenders have heard every joke 1,000 times, so they're not shocked. What they care about is whether you're polite, patient, and in control. The names can be wild, but your behavior still has to be respectful. If you want to lean into the fun, pick one of those naughty-sounding drinks, raise your glass with a smile, and keep it light. The goal is to walk away with a good story, not a blurry memory. And now you've seen the side of cruising they never put in the brochures. If this helped you feel more prepared for the After Dark version of the ship, hit like, subscribe, and tell me your questions in the comments. Then click the next video on your screen and keep cruising smarter. Your voyage is just beginning.